Welcome students. Today we are going to start class 10 science chapter number 8, how do organisms reproduce. I am Dr. Kailash Meena and today I am going to explain the role of DNA in asexual and sexual reproduction. So let's first see these pictures and try to identify how these pictures are related to our topic. So it is up to you. You have to guess, then you will get answers of what I am trying to convey from these pictures in these lectures. Now, before starting our topic, let's go 1 year back when we started our biology journey from chapter number 5, the fundamental unit of life, from class 9th. There we learned that cells are the structural unit of life. It means every living structure is composed of cells. Nothing less than a cell is considered as alive, and if any structure do not have cells within it, then we can say that this structure or this thing is not alive. That is why cell is the structural unit of life. Then again, we also learned that cell is the functional unit of life. It means all functions we are able to see, we are able to observe in living organisms, whether they are plants, whether they are animals, whether they are fungi, whether they are bacteria, whether they are small creatures which are not visible to us. All functions of living organisms we can trace into cells. It means if we have any question about functions of living organisms, for example reproduction, growth, survival, response to stimuli, movement, and wound healing, and diseases also, how diseases happens and what is the cause of that disease, these all answers we are going to get in cells. So cell is the functional unit of life. Together, cell is both structural and functional unit of life. That is why we are saying that cell is the fundamental unit of life. So this we learnt in chapter number 5 from class 9th, although we also learnt in class 8th also about cells in the chapter number 8. So this is why cells are very important if we are discussing any topic of biology. So today's topic is reproduction, but yes, the basic knowledge of cell is very much essential for this. Now I want to take you 1 more year back in class 8 also. There in class 8 science we learnt in chapter number 9, reproduction in animals, how do reproduction happens in animals. There we learned about sexual reproduction and we learned about asexual reproduction, and we also learned about several examples and reproduction in human beings at very brief level. So here I want to recall you only few things, that asexual reproduction involves single parent and sexual reproduction involves two parents. We will discuss other things in next slides. Now again I am troubling you by taking you 1 more year back in class 7th, but before that I want to bring your attention on one thing. In class 8th you have a box or a brief idea about cloning, and there we discussed about the sheep which was cloned in 1996 and is called as Dolly. So I will not discuss anything from this slide. This is only for bringing your attention to that information which you have learnt 2 years or 3 years back, so that when we will finish the human reproduction topic, then I will give you idea how cloning happens and how it is connected with the cellular level. Now moving to class 7th science, it is 3 years back. Again, in chapter number 12 in class 7th science, we learned about reproduction in plants. There also we learned about sexual and asexual reproduction, and because in asexual reproduction we learned about how reproduction happens without the help of flowers or with any part of the body of plant, and we also learned about vegetative reproduction, that was asexual reproduction. So these pictures and these slides are only for reminding you that reproduction is not a new topic, and it is very important topic also. So from class 7th, 8th and 9th we learned about plant reproduction, animal reproduction and the cellular basis of life. Now coming back to our current topic, which is how do organisms reproduce, and today we are going to learn about, do organisms create exact copies of themselves? We are going to get the answer of this question by learning about DNA and its role in reproduction, and that is why I brought your attention to class 9th chapter number 5, fundamental unit of life. Because when you have understanding of cells, when you have understanding of nucleus, when you have understanding of DNA, then only you can understand, do organisms create exact copies of themselves? Although 1 or 2 pages are devoted for this topic in class 10th, but yes, the text written in those pages or the concepts written in those pages are very crucial, and they need certain level of understanding. Now what previous knowledge we need to understand these concepts? The previous knowledge is very simple. First, what is the role of DNA in cell? So as you have learned in class 9th that we can find DNA in prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. So in eukaryotic cells we have a nucleus, and in prokaryotic cells we do not have any nucleus or we do not have any nuclear membrane. So in prokaryotic cells we can find DNA simply in the middle of the cell, which is also called nucleoid, and we can find DNA in eukaryotic cells sitting in the nucleus. That we have learned in chapter 5 of class 9th. But yes, I am talking about DNA here. DNA, you must have heard about chromosomes, chromatin, chromatin fiber, these type of things also. So I will clarify each and everything, but for now we must understand that DNA is present in both prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. And what was the role of DNA? I hope you remember this thing, but let me clarify by one statement. DNA was there to control all activities of the cell. DNA was there to store genetic information of the cell. DNA was there to transfer that genetic information from one generation to another. So here the role of DNA, which we know from previous discussions, is that DNA can store the genetic information, and also it can regulate the activities of cells, and it helps in transfer of that genetic information from one parent to another, or from one generation to the next generation. And the second knowledge we must have before discussing the role of DNA is that what are the major differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So because of these diagrams you can see that prokaryotic cells do not have any nucleus and eukaryotic cells have nucleus, but yes, here you can see that both cells are having DNA. It means prokaryotic cells have content of nucleus but do not have any nuclear membrane, and that is why we say that they are prokaryotic cells or cells without nucleus. Apart from that, here I have not mentioned, but let me explain to you that apart from nucleus, eukaryotic cells also have many compartments. For example, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, mitochondria, lysosomes, and plant cells also have chloroplast. So we can say that eukaryotic cells have many compartments, and prokaryotic cells do not have any membrane bound compartments. A prokaryotic cell is a single compartment, but yes, it can perform all the functions which a eukaryotic cell can perform. The only difference is prokaryotic cell do not have any compartments. And let me remind you one more thing, that If any membrane bound cell organelles are present in eukaryotic cell, we are not going to find those organelles in a prokaryotic cell. But yes, one cell organelle which you have learnt was the ribosome. So you will find ribosomes in prokaryotic cells, also in eukaryotic cells. So ribosomes are the cell organelles or macromolecular assemblies of RNA and protein, which you can find both in prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. This concept will help you understand the function of DNA in later slides. So let's move ahead. Now here is the iconic structure of DNA. You must have familiar with this structure, because whether you are from science curriculum or not, whether you are interested in science or not, but I am very sure that all of you are aware about the term DNA, which is deoxyribonucleic acid, and this structure, because this is very iconic structure. Everybody is familiar with this structure, that this is the structure of DNA, although we are not discussing the details. But yes, this icon is very clear itself that it is the structure of DNA. Now here I have written three things: DNA with blue color, RNA with green color, and polypeptide with the red color. So let me clarify here that here you can understand polypeptide as proteins for simplifying things. So DNA, RNA and protein, here you can see the sign of arrows from DNA to RNA to protein. No need to bother about any detail. Let's have only one idea from DNA to RNA to protein. So what thing I want to convey to you here, I am telling you the function of DNA. So here I have taken the text as it is from NCERT, which says in class 9th we learnt that the chromosomes in the nucleus of a cell contain information for inheritance of features from parents to next generation in the form of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid molecules. So what we have discussed earlier, that DNA we can find in eukaryotic cells in nucleus, and that DNA contains genetic information from one generation to the next. The DNA in the cell nucleus is the information source for making protein. I will clarify this idea later. If the information is changed, different proteins will be made. Again, different proteins will eventually lead to altered body designs. So let me clarify these things for you. This is very complicated but idea, but I will simplify the idea here. So here you can understand or have a hint that DNA can make RNA, RNA can make protein, but not this much simple. DNA can guide the synthesis of RNA by the process of transcription, written here, transcription, and RNA can guide the synthesis of protein by the process of translation. So by two processes, no need to remember the names. By the processes transcription, translation, DNA is able to make RNA molecules, RNA is able to make polypeptide molecules. So let me remind you one thing that you must have learned in chapter number 5 class 9th, that ribosomes are the site of protein synthesis. Ribosomes are also called protein factories, which you have learned in class 8 also. Ribosomes are the protein factories. So there is one question for you: where do we find ribosomes? I hope you all know that as I have discussed in my previous slide, we can find ribosomes scattered in the cytoplasm of prokaryotic cell, and we can find ribosomes scattered in the cytoplasm of eukaryotic cell plus on the surface of rough endoplasmic reticulum. Please recall your knowledge of chapter number 5 cells from class 9th, that rough endoplasmic reticulum is called rough because of the presence of ribosomes on its surface. So we can find ribosomes on the surface of rough endoplasmic reticulum in case of eukaryotic cells, and scattered in the cytoplasm in case of prokaryotic cells, and also scattered in the cytoplasm in eukaryotic cells also. Now, why ribosomes are called protein factories? Let connect this concept with that concept. So let's imagine one eukaryotic cell. So in a eukaryotic cell, let's imagine this is a eukaryotic cell, and here is the nucleus, here is the DNA sitting there. So DNA can make RNA, which I have said already. So DNA will make RNA here. For example, nucleus, in nucleus you are having green color RNAs because of this yellow color DNA, and these RNAs can escape from nucleus to the cytoplasm, because we all know that nuclear membrane also have nuclear pores, which you have learnt in class 9. So these RNA molecules which are depicted here by the green color, they will approach in the cytoplasm and they will get attached to ribosomes. As I have said, that ribosome you can find in the cytoplasm or on the surface of rough endoplasmic reticulum. So this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum, you can see. So DNA is making RNA molecules which are transferring from nucleus to cytoplasm and are attaching on ribosomes, and there they are making protein. So imagine this is the protein, this coiled structure of red color. So here I want to give a simple idea to you, from DNA to RNA to protein, from DNA to RNA to protein, or from DNA to RNA to polypeptide. So here you can imagine DNA is able to make RNA molecules and RNAs are able to make protein molecules, of course in cytoplasm, on the surface of rough endoplasmic reticulum, on ribosomes, and that is why ribosomes are called the protein factories. So do not confuse with these terms. Let me simplify the idea. The role of DNA, whether in heredity, whether in sexual reproduction, or whether the controlling of cells actions, is there to make different kinds of proteins. Very simple. DNA can make different kinds of proteins, and those different kind of proteins are workhorses of our cells. They will perform many tasks, structural functions, other functions, behavioral functions, outcomes. In living organisms we are able to observe diversity. In living organisms we are able to see various features which are called characters, physical expressions. All these characters, all this diversity is because of proteins. In very simple terms, I am speaking very simple term. So all diversity in living organisms is because of proteins present in their cells, and those proteins are being made because of DNA, because DNA is making RNA and RNA is making proteins, in simple terms. So this is how DNA is controlling all the activities of cells. So questions for DNA in your mind have a simple answer right now, is that DNA is able to make various kinds of proteins, and with the help of those proteins DNA is able to control activities of cells. DNA is able to express the characters from one generation to next. Let's consider our next slide. Now here you can see one picture of a cell. This is a eukaryotic cell, of course, because it is having a nuclear envelope with holes, and here you can see the DNA is depicted by blue color, RNA is depicted with green color, and of course the protein is depicted by red color. So here you can see the conceptual sketch of which we have discussed till now. The DNA is making RNA molecules. These RNA molecules are going from nucleus to cytoplasm with the help of nuclear pores, and there they are associating with ribosomes, the protein factories of a cell, and they are making polypeptide. Polypeptide is a technical or scientific name of chains of proteins. So here you can imagine only proteins. So I hope we all are clear till now that DNA is able to make various types of proteins, and with the help of those proteins DNA is able to perform all the tasks which we can imagine from DNA. So these are few statements from NCERT class 10, and as it is for making connections, because we will stick to NCERT and we will decipher or decode the NCERT by conceptual flowcharts, diagrams and discussions. Now let me read these statements one by one for you, and I request you all to connect these statements which I have discussed and you have previous knowledge also. Now, therefore, a basic event in reproduction is the creation of a DNA copy. So what is a DNA copy? Let me give you one more idea, that as the cell is the fundamental unit of life, if any organism grows, then cells multiplies. If any organism is healing its wounds, then cells multiplies. And if any organism is reproducing, it means it is creating more organisms, it means cells multiplies. So I hope I am clear here that every function in living organisms in terms of increasing, whether height, whether growth, or whether reproduction, we are seeing the effect of cell multiplication or cell division. So before multiplying any cell, we need to multiply the DNA. The simple idea, if you want 2 cells from one cell, 4 cells from 2 cells, 8 cells from 4 cells, 16 cells from 8 cells, 32 cells from 16 cells, and so on, 64, 128. So if those cells will, if all cells are having same size, same shape, and same amount of DNA, we must multiply DNA first before dividing. So DNA copying is very important in terms of reproduction. So if I will take back to the slide, here you can see one arrow which is pointing from DNA to DNA, which is called replication. So here DNA replication means making DNA copy or multiplying DNA before cell division, because cell division is very crucial for reproduction. We will discuss this later. So here till now we are having idea about the location of DNA, the function of DNA, how DNA creates polypeptide chains, and what is the connection of these events with the eukaryotic cell, because of course we are going to study about human reproduction. So we are dealing with a eukaryotic cell, or we are dealing with eukaryotic cells of humans. So again, about cell copying the DNA. Cells use chemical reaction to build copies of their DNA, and we will discuss these reactions in higher classes, in class 12th, with more detail, in great depth. This creates 2 copies of the DNA in a reproducing cell, and they will need to separate from each other. So what these statements are saying is simply that if a cell wants to make 2 cells, of course by cell division, it needs to multiply its DNA and then separate those DNA molecules. However, keeping one copy of DNA in the original cell and simply pushing the other one out would not work, because the copy pushes out would not have any organized cellular structure for maintaining life process. Therefore, DNA copying is accompanied by the creation of an additional cellular apparatus, and then the DNA copies separate each with its own cellular apparatus. This simply means while cell division, DNA multiplies plus other things also multiplies, other cell organisms also multiplies, and we are having 2 cells after DNA replication. Effectively, a cell divides to give rise of 2 cells. These 2 cells are of course similar, but they are likely to be absolutely identical. The answer to this question will depend on how accurately the copying reactions involved occur. No biochemical reaction is absolutely reliable. What does this mean? So I will prepare one more lecture about cell division, then we can clearly have the idea of these statements. Now for now, what I can give one idea to you, that if one cell is here, this is one cell having one nucleus with some DNA content. So this cell will multiply to become 2 cells of roughly same size, same type of nucleus, and same content of DNA. So what you can understand by this simple process, this cell division will happen only if this cell multiplies everything within itself, not only DNA, nuclear membrane, cell membrane, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, everything. So this will need a certain amount of time, this will need certain resources, and this will need certain mechanisms to for equal distribution of things. So I will prepare one more lecture to clarify this idea of cell division. Let's move ahead. Again, few more statements from NCERT, that while dividing or while creating more cells during reproduction or during growth, cells are duplicating its DNA, or cells are duplicating its chromosomal material or chromosomes. So while copying the DNA, if cell have any error, that error will be called mutation. I'm sure that you all are have heard the word mutation. in newspaper or in magazines or in movies. Mutation means change. So change in DNA sequence, I will discuss the sequence of DNA also. So here only one idea is that before dividing, before creating new cells, cell need to multiply or duplicate the DNA, and while duplicating the DNA, if cell makes a small error, that error is called mutation, and that mutation will lead to change in the information of DNA, and that is why the representation of the information, for example making of proteins. So if DNA is changed, then ultimately proteins are going to be changed, because DNA is directing the synthesis of RNA and RNA is directing the synthesis of protein. In this picture you can see clearly. So if DNA is changed because of any reason, ultimately proteins are going to change. If proteins are workhorses of any cell, so the function of cell or the structure of cell is going to be changed, and those changes are creating diversity. And the diversity which you have learned in chapter number 7, diversity in living organisms in class 9, that diversity is because of the variation in DNA. So here how the variation is happening, here is very simple idea. If you are able to get my point here, that cells need to multiply the DNA can store the genetic information, DNA express its information by making RNA and by making proteins. And if DNA have any small change during DNA copying, it is going to affect ultimately the proteins, and that change we can say that this is the mutation. So now I am quickly reading the rest of the statements. Therefore it is only to be expected that the process of copying the DNA will have some variations each time. Those variations are called mutations. As a result, the DNA copies generated will be similar but may not be identical to the original. So here we are having one idea. If you have idea of binary fission in amoeba, because you have learned in class 8th also that how cells divide, how amoeba divides. So keeping that in mind, if you can imagine that the amoeba is duplicating its DNA, while duplicating the DNA it is creating some variation, and that is leading to the slight changes. So daughter cells are not identical, they are similar. Now some of these variations might be so drastic that the new DNA copy cannot work with the cellular apparatus it inherits. So here is the answer why new cells or why new organisms have slight change. Why not a drastic change? Because if that changes drastically, that cell will not survive, that organism will not survive, because changes are not always good in terms of DNA. And to be very frank, many of the changes are drastic and not required. Very few changes are advantageous. We will learn more about these changes inherited in evolution the next chapter. Now such a newborn cell will simply die. So here is the answer why we are not seeing drastic changes in any species. On the other hand, there could still be many other variation in the DNA copies that would not lead to such drastic outcome, and that variation we are seeing in the living world, which we have learned in chapter number 7, class 9, diversity in living organism. Thus the surviving cells are similar to but subtly different from each other, and here the variation arises. This inbuilt tendency for variation during reproduction is the basis of evolution, as we will discuss in the next chapter. So as I discussed, there are many more concepts to be observed. So these two pages or these two slides contains many concepts. So these concepts needs basic level of understanding of from class 7 to 9th, and your imagination also. And I am sure I am assuring you that I will clarify each of them step by step as we progress in our chapter. So there are two in-text questions also for you. What is the importance of DNA copying in reproduction? Now you have an idea that DNA has genetic information. It expresses that genetic information in the form of proteins by making RNA, from DNA to RNA to proteins. So what is the importance of DNA copying? You can imagine, and you will search the answer. I will answer in my next presentation. Why is variation beneficial to the species but not necessarily for the individual? We will answer this also in my next presentation. I will give you one hint for question number 2. Over a period of time, climate is changing, environment is changing, so any species which have variation have better chance to survive and to reproduce. And that is why question number 2, why variation is beneficial to the species but not necessarily for the individual. So you imagine this answer, you search for this answer. I will answer both of these questions in my next presentation. So here are few statements of the importance of variation. We will discuss these concepts also in next chapter, that why variation, now we know why variation happens, then why variation is important and how these variations leads to new species. We will learn in the chapter heredity and evolution. So this is it. So I have given you very basic and elementary idea of DNA, importance of DNA and role of DNA in reproduction. We will discuss in my next lecture the modes of reproduction used by single cellular organisms, and we will take these all concepts discussed here in upcoming lectures of human reproduction and heredity and evolution. Thank you so much.